want to say this and I got to go. I love y'all. Keep supporting comedy. And I want to thank each and every one of you black guys for dating these ugly-ass white chicks and taking them off our hands. Real business. My name's Ray Lapowski. I'm out of here.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing good today. Let's jump right into the video. So I was on YouTube and the good old YouTube algorithm suggested a video, and it's a video that essentially states that the movie Princess and the Frog promotes struggle love. And I found this very funny because if y'all have been following me for a while, you know that I actually dropped a series a few months ago that states the opposite. I say that Disney has been telling Black women since 2009 by way of Princess and the Frog to divest. And that series actually birthed the Cinderella series, wherein I had to retract the since 2009 part and replace it with since 1997. So it became, shout out to my subbies that corrected me, it became that Disney has been telling Black women to divest since 1997 by way of Cinderella starring Brandy. So that series birthed the Cinderella series, and I 100% stand by everything that I said. Now, if you go back and watch it, it's when I first started the channel. I wasn't even doing visuals back then. It's just my voice, just taking it scene by scene as to why I feel the movie in its entirety promotes divestment for Black women. So this video is going to be debunking that video that I watched. I watched probably maybe 2/3 of the video or maybe 3/4 of the video. I couldn't get through all of it just because, the more I listened to it, the more I disagreed and felt like, it was sort of a surface level analysis of the movie in itself. But I stand by my series and I disagree that Princess and the Frog promotes struggle love for Black women. I do. And here's why. All right. First things first, y'all. First of all, almost every Disney princess has a struggle story. We have Belle with the Beast, Snow White with the witch and the having to be her servant, Cinderella, a servant. Pocahontas left her tribe as the daughter of the chief to be with John Smith. This is in part 2. She ends up being with someone else after that. But John Smith isn't even a royal. Esmeralda is a gypsy, an ethnic group looked down upon. There is struggle with every Disney princess at first because Disney makes it their duty to teach us a lesson while we are also fantasizing about being the princesses we grew up seeing. Now you may be saying, but ladyblaxican, those princesses were saved by their prince. Why does Tiana not get saved? Why does she have to basically teach Naveen about life in order to save him? Well, the same reason Ariel saved Eric when he was about to drown. Remember that? Had Eric not been saved by Ariel first, she could not have been saved by him in the end. And let's keep it real. The slaying of Ursula was a team effort between Eric and Ariel, in my opinion. But where is all this beef for Ariel? I would argue that the elements in both The Little Mermaid and Princess and the Frog are similar. They are just applying the original story, The Frog Prince, to tell the story. If you want to call that telling Black women they need to struggle, then again, you probably have a surface level mentality of how you're analyzing the film. And it reminds me so much of how some Black people were upset about the film when it came out in 2009. Now, in the original story, The Frog Prince, The princess is the spoiled one. She befriends the frog and in the end kisses him and he becomes a prince. In a much darker version, she throws him against the wall. Then he becomes the prince. The original story comes out of Germany, so that second one doesn't really surprise me. No offense, Germany. But Disney makes Tiana the opposite of what the princess was in the original story. They make her initially not a princess and make it so that the prince is the spoiled one, the non-black prince. Now, I would also argue that Tiana is already divested. And here's why. Number one, she stays around rich people on her free time. As such, she is able to get the cash that she needs to make a down payment on her restaurant. I know, she gets outbid. I'll address that in a moment. But here's number two. She only goes to Blackistan by circumstance. Her family home is there, her job is there, but otherwise, she never hangs with her friends in Blackistan and is not bothered by the naysayers of Blackistan like that chef we meet in the beginning who laughs at her when she says she wants to open up her own restaurant. These are distractions, and Tiana has her eyes on the prize. Now, let's talk about Naveen for a second. Prince Naveen. Is Prince Naveen dusty? Sure, at first. But what is Disney's mission? To teach us a lesson by way of having the characters learn a lesson. Is Naveen dusty? Sure. But so was King Henry, yet everyone is okay with glamorizing Queen Elizabeth. Have y'all not seen the Boylan sisters? In real life, there is so much dust in every royal family, no matter the race. So you can't write Naveen off just because he too was born with the silver spoon and became an asshole. He is like every member of every royal family, and his parents are sick of it, even though they created that monster. But unlike the kings we know historically, Naveen becomes a changed man and becomes a changed man only after falling in love with Tiana, a black woman. From my research, non-black men say all the time that black women change them and make them better men all the time. In fact, they may be the white woman's version of a Dusty before getting with black women. So why are we holding it against Tiana that just by being herself, she changed the prince? In the end, he makes it his mission to get her what she wants. He wants to make her dreams come true and wants to sacrifice himself to do it. And it's only at that point, Tiana allows her love for Naveen to come out. It's only after he becomes undusty, y'all. Here's the other thing that I want everybody to keep in mind, right? Prince Naveen's obligation was to marry rich to maintain the throne, right? Because he's cut off. So in order for him to, do what he needs to do to be able to take on the demands of being a king, he has to go find a rich girl, right? Thus, he has to go find someone rich to marry to maintain the throne. And in the end, he pulls a Prince Henry to be with Tiana. But here's the twist. They have a royal wedding. So what does that mean exactly for the prince? We know what it means for Tiana. Her dreams come true in the end. Disney always wants to focus on the happily ever after part for the princess, and that's why we know what happens to her. Side note, it's not Disney's fault that this is the realistic direction black contributors of the film wanted. But let's get back to the prince. We see his parents blessing their union at the end of the movie. What does that mean? He gets his inheritance back? Tiana and he move into the castle? They just live off the profits of Tiana's business? We don't know because we are focused on Tiana's dreams, not necessarily the prince, just like every other Disney film. So like those other princesses, we just know they live happily ever after, but we don't know the details. Thus, we can't say whether Naveen remains low earning because he is cut off from his inheritance, because we don't know if that is a permanent situation that his parents put him in. Plus, again, he still has an obligation to the throne when his parents pass away. So I'm not entirely sure how that's supposed to work. Now, getting back to the whole, but the other princesses were saved by their prince, whatever princess means and whatever prince means, depending on the context of the story that we're talking about. I would argue that Naveen does save Tiana, and she saves him too. But here's the difference, okay? Tiana does not save him by muling. She saves him by being and doing her. He falls in love with that. So though she saves him, she doesn't do much to save him. I mean, she did throw down a rope to save him from the alligators, but that was only after he agrees to help her. Also, how much effort did that take for her to throw down a rope? I don't think that she was tapping into her masculine that much to throw him a rope so that he can climb his own ass up so that he doesn't get eaten by the alligators. I would also say that Ariel is the bigger mule in that regard. In the whole she saved him regard, Ariel's the bigger mule. She had to do more effort to save Eric than Tiana had to do to save Naveen. She saves Naveen by teaching him about life, and she in turn brings the man out of him. What does Tiana learn? She learns to need love instead of always just focusing on her restaurant business. She learns she can have both. She learns she can have it all. And if that's not divestment, I don't know what is, y'all. And Naveen is right there by her side with the alligator that they befriend on the journey. And they all, and Naveen, make sure that Tiana can get her restaurant. The one she secured before meeting Naveen. Naveen just makes sure those men follow through on their word. Then he supports her in her dream, y'all. It's her dream, whether you like it or not. And it comes true. So again, I stand by my original series. I'll go ahead and make a playlist for y'all. But Disney has been telling Black women to divest since, 1997. But also, I would say, again, this is not a story of struggle love. This is a story of dreams coming true. How are your dreams supposed to come true if you're not putting yourself first? But yeah, Disney has been telling Black women to divest for a very long time. In fact, they've been telling Black women to divest since 1997 when Cinderella starring Brandy came out. Also, look out for that final part of the Cinderella series, y'all. It's coming out soon. But figured I would drop this video real quickly. Anyways, that's all I got. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Do you know what video I'm talking about? What were your thoughts on that video compared to my thoughts? Do you agree with me? Am I tripping? Does this promote struggle love? Whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comments. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. Bye.
What is up, black people? How y'all doing? I want to let all you black women know you need to get a white man in your life.